So you really don't need anything fancy to start art journaling. These are just the things I had around the house. And I have an old book page, which I'm going to use that as a background for the page, my first page. And as you can see, it's not my first page, but I will start because I'm going to do this with you. And then I have some tea bags that have been pre-dried and pressed into a book. Of course, you need to remove the contents. You let it dry first. I just tore the top because it looks more organic and raw. Then I have a napkin for texture to make it look like exciting, and also a sheet music from a very old sheet music book, and some markers. And these markers are just from the dollar store for $1.25. And I'm sure you guys have some kind of markers at your house, for your kids or for your grandkids, and you can pretty much use anything, but today we're going to just use a few things. And then I have some glue, Mod Podge glue, and that's all you really need. Let's keep it simple because this is your starting page. And also at the end, make sure that you date it, not to give you pressure or stress you out to do something like every day if you want, or every other day, but it's just to see your progress throughout your journey in your journal. So let's start with just a few items. No need to stress out about it. And let's begin. Of course, you can pause this video and then gather up all of your stuff. You don't need Mod Podge. You can use the PVA glue, paste, or whatever you have at home. It'll work. If you have clips, it would probably be more helpful to have clips. Hold your paper down. There, that's it. Around here, we like using remnants, little scraps, and forgotten pieces because creativity doesn't have to start with perfect supplies, right? This adds more texture, I feel. And then when you do that, you will be able to do this. That's perfect. Look, there's even a hint of the actual paper. You can tear it up. And then you can use the rest of this for a different project or a different page. And you just want to like cover a little bit. Even if it goes over the middle part, you're fine. Again, there are no rules. Then this is just a cheap brush to put my Mod Podge down. Oop. Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. So you already have like some of that hair. And you welcome those things. They are there for a reason. And while you're doing this, this is a great therapeutic activity, because while you're doing this and you're quiet, you're listening to music, you can start thinking about what kind of message you want to put on your art journal. It could be something that happened throughout the day. You went to Target, you saw, I don't know, you saw someone with a strange outfit or a beautiful outfit, whatever. You saw something that you wanted to buy, but maybe you said, well, it's a luxury, so I'm not going to buy it. So just anything that happened throughout the day. You cooked something yummy and your family appreciated it. or you spoke with Sophia down the road and she told you some things that made you think about other things. Anything. You get the picture, right? Or just maybe your thoughts for the day. And I'm just going to tear the excess right there. So tearing is better than cutting. And actually we're making art, an art journal with forgotten things. Like napkins. Is it there? Did you remember that it was there? Maybe not. And then, let's see. And then we can do some of this. You now have a mirror of what used to be behind there. But now you have the actual pattern on your page. And that's the art of it all is, hey, look, I have this pattern. It's a texture, but yet there's a ghost of it right here. It's your world. You can make it whatever you want. You can take a piece of, so using a piece of plastic, you can smooth it down without having to touch it and get all the glue in your hands. That's what I do. It's a pro tip. But you welcome the texture here on this other side. You will welcome that texture because that gives very nice added interest to your page. I started at 11 o'clock and let's see how long it takes us. And you can set aside an hour of your day or maybe even 30 minutes. I don't even think it'll take an hour for the first page. You know, at the end of the day when everybody's relaxed, after everybody hit, see, that kind of, but that's okay. If it tore like that, you could just like, hey, it just happened, serendipity. Get some more Mod Podge and just lay it down. That's serendipity. That's a surprise, right? Now you have your tea bag. You can either keep it like this and tape it and glue it down. Whoopsie. This is really cool because you already have the color. You have the color, you have the texture, and surprise, surprise. Let us kind of glue this down. And this, I love this tea bag because, and this is the traditional botanicals. You can get this from anywhere, Walmart, Whole Foods has it. And I like the Sanity because it keeps me regular. And then it does have a nice message. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. And isn't that the perfect message for what we're doing today? Nature does not hurry, so we do not have to hurry with our with our art. So now to keep it aesthetically beautiful, we're just going to use a few colors, okay? I don't know, do you want to add something here so that it like balances it out? Sure, why not? So let's cut a little bit more of this paper, like just around this one group of flowers. You can do that. So while you're thinking about what message you want to remember with this art, you can start thinking now while you're doing this. What's your favorite color? Let me know in the comments, because there also is a way to balance your art. And less is more. But that's on your, that's your own expression of how you want it. You can make it as busy as you want or as calm as you want. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished, right? And don't get intimidated. This is just gluing things together. If you want to draw anything, you can draw. We're going to let this dry. In the meantime, while we're waiting for this to dry, let's do a border. One color that coordinates with blue is orange. So if you look at the color wheel, you'll see that across from blue is orange, because it's red and yellow. Red and yellow is complementing blue. So we can do a border. Just maybe some squiggly lines. Nothing fancy. It's already coming together. Just with that border. Just with the border, see? You can do, let's do some dots. Look at already how pretty that is. So I'm just going to let it dry, because I can't really go any further unless you want to. It's fine. You can use a hair dryer, or just put it in front of a fan, get another cup of coffee, cup of tea, whatever, and then come back, and with my purple, I'm going to do this and a dot and a dot. Just very simple way to express yourself. Dot. And now it's tying together with the blue, and this is purple. Turns out to be blue. I also have orange highlighter, and I can highlight some words I would like to highlight. Like, let's see. This is like a corny book, so it's not like a novel. You can pick a word, but hey, provide little assistance. Why not? Productive, okay? Productive. Real. Ability. But see, it's orange, but it's a different shade of orange. You can go as much or as little as you want. Nothing has to be stressful. Actually, this should be a way to de-stress, decompress. I'm going to add a blue in the middle of those ones too. Or not. You can even add some color inside the flowers. And the white spaces there. Just add some orange. And now that you have two different types of orange, you can do this with crayons. Crayons would be awesome because crayons is wax. So because this is our starting journal, we can do something like we don't even have to go any further. If you want to do a drawing here, you can actually mimic this flower. You can do, and that's just a flower. And then another flower on top. Just mimicking. And then another edge on top of that. Here in this flower, this part, the edges are white, but then you're doing blue edges. And then inside the center is white here, so you can make that blue. Just to balance it. See? It's perfect. And then you can also say, my first journal entry. Nice and simple. You can put dots everywhere. Not too much, just enough to give uniformity. Just to tie everything together. But here's your focal point. This is left by its, just the texture by itself. There we go. Very simple. And there's your first journal. See? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a place to think, play, and give your creativity a little space. And guess what? After you do this, however you do it, this is for yourself. You don't need to show this to anyone. This is just for you. So whatever it is, don't criticize yourself. This is just an expression, like an outlet of your day and how you deal with life, to cope with life itself. And just, like after you've done this, it's gonna make you feel so much better. Like you'll sleep better. I usually do this when I can't sleep. I would get up and I would just do doodles, and I don't even need Mod Podge or anything. Just doodles and tearing pages, gluing things together, or even just drawing something, and then have a few markers and just color. And it just, after I do this, I just fall asleep. Doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, this is a place for you to think. I had a really bad day today. You can put that anywhere. Today was challenging. Like, today was a challenge. And if you want, can't spell, a challenge, 2 L's, a challenge. Today was a challenge. And then you can put a piece of paper even on top. So you can write what was about today that was so challenging. Okay, that's it. Like, just write yourself a little note. This is just not, no, my day has been going good, pretty much. But this is just a sample. You can just tear it up like this. And like that. And then just put it anywhere. Like this. And tape it there. If you had a good day, same thing. I would suggest to have a piece of parchment paper, because if you happen to, in an emergency, have to close the book so no one can read it, then nothing will stick. And you can use the plastic, but the plastic has already been compromised. There you go. See, for some reason, I woke up on the wrong side of bed and nothing went my way. But this is my safe space and it made me feel calm, right? So yeah, there you go. That's your day. This is, then you have your date here. And today was a challenge. And this is my start. And then it reminds you, this little saying, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. So this negates this, right? This negates this, because you have some positive message for yourself, even though it started out as a negative. It ended up with a positive note. And then I could just put a flower there if I want, just to tie it together, you know. There. I mean, you can do it. You don't have to. But right there. Perfect. See? And there is your page for the day. On the next video, I'm going to show you another way to art journal. And after you're done with your stuff, you can just have a little envelope, or you can even have a bag for all of your supplies so that it's in one place. Carry it anywhere. Go to the park, sit down, do this, take a breather, and just create a journal. Doesn't have to be perfect. This isn't perfect. This is not my best work, but I'm starting with you guys, so I love it. I really do. You know, it's very, to me, it's very creative. So I got some parchment paper from my kitchen, and I'm just gonna leave it here. I can close this, but I'm not gonna close it. So the front cover, I also did, you know, decorate it. And then you can do that later, but we'll figure that out later. But for now, you could just get a book from your library, a law book. Show me what you did. I am interested.